Some of Russia's wealthiest citizens have been found dead since the start of the conflict with Ukraine. It could be a clear sign that Russia, or some folks in Russia, aren't happy with what Putin's up to. Ring of Fire's Farron Cousins joins me to talk about this story and many others. As I look at this story, the things that jump out at me are this. There's a division, clear division among the oligarchs. There's some oligarchs that are cooperating everything they can do to help cooperate with sanctions. They're not being sanctioned. Then there's oligarchs that are being sanctioned. Their ability to live has been taken away from them, at least in their minds. Their yachts are, houses, the yachts, dozens of houses around the globe. But so these two oligarchs, well, actually it's more than that. There's seven? Is it 7 or 8 in the last few weeks?
So far, yeah.
Yeah, so far that we know of.
Yeah.
So they're being found dead, but with these two, for example, it kind of tells the story. The entire family was found murdered. And they're trying to say, well, it was murder, suicide. One fellow was found hung. They said he hung himself, but he killed his family before he hung himself. So, I mean, if you're looking at the story, you got to ask the question, is Putin going to be able to survive a war of the oligarchs? Or is Putin the one responsible for their deaths? That's the big question.
I think, based on what we've seen with this, Putin administration, I guess if you want to call it, just over the years, dissent of any kind, obviously not tolerated. We have seen journalists killed. We have seen political adversaries, poisoned. We have seen people fall off balconies that otherwise should not have fallen off balconies. This is all on par with what we have seen this administration do for a decade or more now.
Yeah.
And when they go to these scenes and they see, this oligarch, a guy worth $500 million, just couldn't take it anymore, and he stabbed his wife and daughter to death, then hung himself. But the local authorities, because this was not in Russia where it happened.
It was Spain.
Right, and they say, well, but he has no blood on him. How can he stab these people multiple times and not have a trace of blood anywhere on him?
Okay, the two suggestions that I've seen are both interesting. One is that it's oligarchs versus oligarchs. If it's oligarchs versus oligarchs, then this guy, Putin, is absolutely in charge. He's absolutely calling the shots because all of them came into their money by way of Putin. I mean, all of them came either through the KGB, the military. They came through the Cold War structure where they were literally given entire industries. Here, you take the energy industry. You take the precious metals industry. It was a gift. And so, as you're looking at it, that gift's falling apart for a lot of them, right?
It really is. And of course, nobody in Russia has more power than Vladimir Putin unless you add up all of these oligarchs. Those are the only people that could really spark some kind of change, to spark regime change in their own country. So obviously, that is the threat that these individuals pose. So you could, like you said, it could be oligarch on oligarch. You could have some of them who say, listen, we're going to weather this. We're going to emerge on the other side okay. You over here, you're making the situation worse. We need to, it's time for you to go.
There's a second part of it. I don't think you can have the discussion without talking about the second part of it, and that's Putin's health. Okay, if you see, I mean, the visuals, at least the optics we're seeing now is it's a beat down old man. He's bloated looking. As he stands up, his hands are trembling. He's holding on. As he's sitting, he's literally holding onto the table to apparently steady himself. When he raises his hands, it looks like Parkinson's disease. There's a whole set of events that are taking place that lead you to believe could it be Parkinson's disease. The other part is cancer, thyroid cancer.
Right.
They're bringing specialists. He's had half a dozen meetings with the best specialists in the world.
Yeah, in just the last 2 years. Dozens and dozens for people that are experts in thyroid cancer and various other illnesses. I think there's been 35 visits he has had just in the last couple years. And of course, the state maintains everything's great, everything's wonderful, he's perfectly fine. He may have, residual pain from falling off a horse, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But that doesn't do the things that we saw in that video last week. Yeah. He is bloated. He can't keep his feet still. His thumbs, even as he's holding, you can see it trembling.
Yeah.
That's not normal. Yeah. There's something going on.
Well, people are looking at it saying the possibility of Parkinson's disease is very high, which just adds to the problem. It's like that other straw in the camel's back. He's not doing well in the Ukraine. this promise that he made to the Russian people is not bearing itself out. We're going to be in and out in a matter of 2 months, I think he said. It's anything but that. You've got these folks that have supported his regime that are losing everything. It's a tough time for Putin right now, and whether he can weather it or not, your guess is good as mine.
And if there's a health issue in there, and he says, well, listen, 6 months from now, this isn't going to be my problem, then you're looking at an even more dangerous individual that has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
That's really scary.